Hello guys! Welcome back sa another accounting tutorial. No? Pagpasensyahan nyo na yung mukha, no? Medyo sun-kissed tayo ngayon kasi nag-change location lang. Ang topic natin for today is operating and financial budgeting. No? So, kung ready ka na, tara na! Siyempre, simulan natin sa word na budgeting. Alam ko lahat tayo alam tong word na to. Sa araw-araw na buhay natin, I believe ginagawa natin 'to. Nagba-budget tayo eh, no? Whether yung pamasahe natin papunta ng school, no? Magkano yung baon natin, iba-budget natin 'yon, ano yung maaalat sa transportation, sa pagkain, and yung mga other needs and wants pa natin. Pero sa usapan ng management accounting, yung budget po is a detailed financial plan that estimates future revenues, expenses, and resource allocation, serving as both a planning and control tool for organizations. Ganon din naman, parehas pa rin naman. I-estimate mo magkano yung future revenues, expenses mo, and paano mo i-allocate yung resources mo. Parang ang baon mo, ganitong amount. Paano mo siya i-allocate? Ano yung mga resources na gagamitin mo? Plaplanuhin mo yun. Pero syempre, sa context naman yan ng organizations. Ibang usapan nga lang pag malaking kumpanya na. Now, it helps managers set financial targets, allocate resources efficiently, and evaluate performance against expectations. Tama nga naman. Pag may baon ka na, paano mo i-allocate? And evaluate mo din kung may savings ka ba, may natira ba sa baon mo, kulang ba? Okay? So, ganung bagay din. Alright? No? So, syempre, meron niyang components yung budget natin. It can range from simple to complex. No? Pero sa management accounting, they often include sales budget. O, syempre, pinaka-common talaga, magkano yung sales? Magkano yung magiging sales natin sa given period na ito? O, anong focus natin dyan? Syempre, magkano yung magiging forecasted sales revenue natin? Ano ba? Ano ba ang purpose kung bakit tayo nagkakaroon ng sales budget? Yan yung basis natin for production and other budgets. Parang dyan magsisimula lahat eh. Kung mayroon ka ng sales, syempre, yun yung ita-target mo, yun yung dapat mong ma-achieve. Kung mayroon ka ng basis for sales, dapat may basis ka na rin kung magkano yung, or kung ilang units yung iproproduce mo. Dyan papasok yung production budget. No? It ensures that supply meets demand. Meron ka ng demand, dapat ma-meet yun ng supply mo. Okay? So, pag meron ka ng production, syempre, may materials ka na. No? Ano yung mga raw materials na kakailanganin mo. No? It controls purchasing and inventory. Kanino ka ba bibili ng mga direct materials mo sa pag-produce ng product? No? It controls purchasing and inventory. May materials ka na, may labor ka pa. No? So, ano-ano ba yung mga requirements ng workforce mo? No? Sino-sino yung mga i-hire mo? Magkano yung sahod nila? No? Siyempre, pag meron ka ng direct labor, may overhead ka na rin. Ano-ano yung mga indirect production cost na i-incur mo? No? Para matrack yung utilities, depreciation, and other indirect production costs. No? So, alam ko, very na lang din to. Very understandable na. No, dumaan na tayo diyan, no? Alam na natin 'yan. And lastly, no, cash budget. No? Cash inflows and outflows naman yung usapan kasi natin diyan. Magkano yung inflow, magkano yung outflow, ilan yung collections, ilan yung disbursement. Para ma-ensure natin na liquid tayo. May pambayad tayo ng short-term liabilities natin, and kung kulang man yung pera natin, uutang tayo. Financing needs. No? Kung lahat ng budget pinagsama-sama natin, sales budget, production budget, and other budget pa, no? Yan naman po yung tatawagan nating master budget. No? It consolidates lahat ng budget natin. Kumbaga ba, para yung budgeted FS eh. Kasi nandyan na lahat. No? It provides overall financial plan for the organization. Okay? So, usapang master budget tayo, no? It represents the overall plan of the organization for a given budget period. No? It consists of all the individual budgets for each of the segment of the organization aggregated or consolidated into one overall budget for the entire firm. No? Medyo naninibago lang talaga ako sa sa location ko ngayon, guys, no. Pasensya na, no. Ano lang, ano kasi kaya mahirap din kasi talaga pag nag-change location ka. Even sa pag-aaral, no, alam ko even kayo pag nasa bahay na kayo, mayroon na kayong spot. O tapos kapag umalis ka, ganun, or for example sa beach ka nag-aaral. Ang hirap mag-aaral pag nasa beach ka, no. Pero wala naman ako sa beach ngayon. No? Grabe naman. Grabe naman, nasa beach ka, sir, nagdi-discuss ka, grabe naman. Tama na, sir. Yung nakabakasyon ka tapos ako nagdi-discuss. No? So, yun na yung master budget natin na lahat na ng budget nandyan na. Overall plan yan ng organization for a given budget period. No, aggregated na yan, consolidated na yan. Para bang ano siya, isipin mo FS or balance sheet, di ba? Cash. Magkano yung AR, magkano yung inventory, magkano yung PPE. Oh. Pero lahat ng yan budgeted. Saan galing yung cash, yung budgeted cash mo? Baka nang galing yan sa cash budget. No, yung ER, magkano yung budgeted ER mo? Baka nang galing din sa sales, credit sales. Kumbaga lahat ng budget, dyan mo isasalpak. Kaya master budget na siya. No? Ganyan lang siya yung, ganyan ko lang siyang i-imagine. No? Basta lahat ng amount mo, budgeted yon. Pinagsama-sama mo lang siya. No? Siyempre, ano-ano ba yung gamit ng budgeting? Planning. Pag mayroon ka ng, pag alam mo kung magkano yung gagastusin mo, makakapagplano ka na. Magkano yung pamasahe mo sa jeep, magkano yung budget mo for meals, di ba? Budgets force managers to think ahead, anticipate future revenues and costs, and prepare for potential challenges. O, parang tayo rin, pag nagbabudget tayo, mag-iisip na tayo ahead of time. I-anticipate na natin magkano yung cost na gagastusin natin and prepare for potential challenges. Encourages long-term strategic thinking rather than short-term reactive decisions. Long-term dapat kapag nagplaplano ka. No? Dapat pang matagalan. Kaya nga may tinatawag tayong strategic budgeting. It is a form of long-range planning based on identifying and specifying organizational goals and objectives. No? Basta ang term for strategic budgeting, long-range ka. No? Pangmatagalan ka. Long-term siya. Alright? So, ano pa? Coordination. No? Bakit? Kasi, syempre, pag may sales ka na, kanino manggagaling yung sales budget? Baka sa sales department. Kanino manggagaling yung production budget? Sa production department. I-align mo. Dapat makipag-coordinate yung sales department sa production department. No? Dapat may coordination sila, may communication sila toward common organization goals. No, it ensures resources are allocated efficiently across competing needs. O, syempre, dapat nagkakaisa. Or efficient yung allocation ng resources. O sabi ng sales department, ganito yung ipoproduce or ganito yung expected demand natin, dapat ganun yung i-produce mo. No? And additionally, control din. It provides benchmarks against which actual performance can be measured. Correct. No? Pag, for example, pwede mo siyang ipag-compare actual versus budget. Ang budget mo, sabi mo, gagastos ka lang today ng 100. Gumastos ka 200. No? Na-over budget ka. Humiram ka pa sa kaibigan mo, pahiram nga ako, di ba? Ang 50, ganon. Oh. Tapos di mo na binalik. Grabe naman yan. Ang budget mo lang 100. Napagastos ka ngayon kasi pumasa ka sa exam. Sabi mo, ay, deserve ko to. Deserve ko to, gagastos ako. Napagastos, na-over-expense ka tuloy. Control purpose din yun. No? It provides benchmarks against which actual performance can be measured. No? Variance analysis ulit. No? Whereas, hina-highlight dyan yung deviation ng performance from expectations, enabling corrective action. No? Konektado at konektado sila lahat dito. No? So, pag may control, ganun ulit. Performance evaluation ulit. I-evaluate mo yung performance ng department. Na-meet ba nila yung budget targets nila or sumobra sila? No? May savings ba? Or over budget sila? No? It creates accountability and transparency in operation. Siyempre, kung sino yung in charge doon, sino yung responsible na department doon sa division na yun, sa variance na yun, sila yung i-evaluate or sila yung accountable doon. Sila yung titignan. May transparency. Hindi nila i-blame sa iba. Communication, syempre, budgets communicate organizational priorities and expectations clearly to all levels of staff. Syempre, pag kailangan mo ng coordination, magipag-communicate ka din sa kanila. Hindi pwedeng silent treatment, no? Alangan namang huhulaan mo magkano yung sales without knowing, or nag-produce ka na without knowing magkano yung sales, yung targeted sales ninyo. O paano kung kulang yung na-produce yung materyales? O sumobra pala. No? So, dapat may communication. Huh? Helps employees understand how their work contributes to overall goals. Correct. No? Siyempre, pag merong gamit, may limitations din. No? Number one is yung dependence nung budgeting sa estimates. Siyempre, hindi naman yan actual, estimate lang yan. No? Based yan sa forecast and assumptions which may turn out to be inaccurate. No? Unexpected changes in market conditions, inflation, or customer demand can make budgets obsolete. Correct. No? And explain ko lang to. No? For example, ang targeted production mo, let's say 10,000 units yung target, yung nasa budget mo. Siyempre, sa 10,000 units na yan, for example, gagamit ka ng 20 liters na gas. Oh. Alam natin, di ba? Paano pag may unexpected change dun sa presyo ng gas? Mag-i-stick ka pa rin ba sa 10,000 na budget? Huh? Baka hindi na. Huh? Baka hindi na, or baka depende sa management yan. Pero syempre, masasabi mo pa rin na yung mga market conditions or inflation, makakasagabal dun sa budget ko. So, mamaya, mas i-elaborate natin yan. So, additionally, time-consuming process din siya. Kasi nga, detailed yung budget and it requires significant effort, coordination, and resources. Syempre, iba't ibang departamento yan yung makipag-communicate. O, hihintayin nila yung budget ng isang department para makausap. No? Maghihintayan sila. It requires significant effort, coordination, and resources. O paano kung matagal? O paano kung large organization talaga? Ay, sobrang tagal ng budgeting cycle nila. No? Time-consuming process. So another one, behavioral issues. Paano kung yung target unrealistic or sobrang taas ng standard? It may demotivate employees. No? Managers might manipulate figures or yung tinatawag nating budgetary slack to make targets easier to achieve. It pressure to meet budgets can encourage unethical practices. Correct. Sa sobrang taas ng standard nila na or yung targeted sales, 10 million yung quota, ay Diyos ko. No? Baka i-manipulate na lang nila yung figures na sabihin nila na achieve nila yung target na yun. No? So, let's dive deeper dito sa budgetary slack. Ano ba to, sir? No? Ang budgetary slack po is the intentional underestimation of revenues or overestimation of expenses in a budget. No? The motive is usually to increase the likelihood of meeting or exceeding budget, especially when bonuses or promotions are tied to performance. No? So tignan natin sa example na to. Ang sabi kasi, intentional underestimation of revenues or overestimation of expenses. For example, ang ina-expect ng sales manager na sales nila is 1 million. Pero ang nilagay niya lang sa budget, 800K. Kung yung sales talaga actually reaches 1 million, yung manager magmumukhang maganda, di ba? Magmumukhang maganda yung kakalabasan. Kasi ang nilagay niya lang sa budget, 800K eh. Pero alam niya, magiging 1 million yun. Over budget na siya. No? Maganda yun sa paningin ng mga investors, mga shareholders. Kaya bibigyan siya ng bonus. Bibigyan siya ng promotion. No? Alright, so yun ang isa sa mga application ng budgetary slack. No? So, let's continue. No? Rigidity and reduced flexibility. Ito yung sinasabi natin, strict adherence to budgets can discourage managers from adapting to new opportunities or threats. Kung baga ba, stick to the plan na lang tayo even when circumstances demand change. Nabanggit natin kanina, di ba? Yung 10K units gamit yung 20 liters na gas. Paano kung nagmahal bigla yung gas? Mag-i-stick ka pa rin ba sa 10K units? No? Baka. Di ba? Kasi yun yung nasa budget nila eh. No? Kahit nagmahal na yung 20 liters na gasolina, 10K yung target units na ma-produce natin eh. 20 liters pa rin yung gas na gagamitin nila. Even when circumstances demand change. No? Ang mahal na nung gas ngayon. No? Key takeaway natin, budgets are essential for planning and control. But managers should treat them as guidelines rather than rigid rules. Tama nga naman. Kaya dyan papasok yung mga modern approaches sa budgeting like rolling budgets, zero-based budgeting, or Kaizen budgeting para ma-overcome yung limitations ng budgeting, yung mga limitations ng budgeting. Huh? So, ano ba yung mga modern approaches to budgeting? No? So, isa dyan yung continuous or rolling budget. No? Ang concept nito, budgets are continuously updated monthly or quarterly to reflect current realities instead of being fixed annually. I-update mo yung budget mo. Diba? Alam mo, nagbago yung presyo ng gas. Balikan natin si 10K units. Gamit yung 20 liter na gas. Siyempre, alam mo, nagmahal yung presyo ng gas, kaya baka bawasan mo. Sabi mo, 5K units na lang, gamit yung 10 liters na gas. I-update mo siya to reflect yung current realities instead of being fixed annually. Mas nakatipid ka ngayon kasi updated siya. Anong advantages? Increases flexibility and responsiveness to market changes. Tulad nga sabi, yung presyo ng gas, nagmamahal, kaya babawasan mo na lang yung production mo. Flexible ka, responsive ka din. Provides more accurate and timely financial planning. Siyempre, updated siya, timely ka na. Timely na yung financial planning mo. It reduces risk of outdated assumptions. Tama. Risky kasi kapag hindi updated eh. Diba? Baka malay mo, mali na pala yung assumption mo kasi outdated ka eh. So yun continuous or rolling budget. So, sana all, di ba? Sana all continuous. Sige, tignan nga naman natin dito sa zero-based budgeting. Ang concept naman nito, every expense must be justified from scratch, not just adjusted from last year's figures. paano siya? Or ano yung mga advantages nito? It eliminates inefficiencies carried forward from previous budgets. Kumbaga ba kasi, instead na gagamitin mo yung last year, mag-start ka from scratch. Mag-start ka, ang base mo na naman dyan is base zero ka. Or zero base, di ba? Parang yung, let's take for example sa maganda example dyan, notebook mo sa accounting, sa FAR. Notebook mo sa FAR nung first year, nasa ano, index card. Nasa index card. Nasa index card. Diba? Alam natin yung mga ano natin, yung mga notes natin sa FAR. Yung nasa notes po sa FAR nung first year ka index card, di ba? Ganyan ako index card. Yung second year na ako, imbes na i-carry over ko yung first year ko ng index card, transfer ko siya, let's say, transfer ko siya sa coupon. Sige, let's say sa paper. Sige, paper, yung coupon bond, ganon. Oh, zero base yun kasi nag-start na naman ako from scratch. No? Hindi ko ginamit yung last year figure. Tapos nung third year na ako, nilagay ko na siya sa notebook ko. No? So, ganyan yung zero base. Nag-start ulit ako from scratch. No? Ano yung possible advantages nyon? May eliminate yung inefficiencies. Siyempre, ang pangit ng index card eh. No? Ang pangit naman nun. Ang pangit din ng papel pag nawala yun. Paano yun? Paano ako makapag-aral? No? Hanggang sa ma-find ko na, uy, okay pala tong notebook, no? Nandito na pala lahat. Oh, so, ganun lang yung zero-based budgeting natin. It encourages critical evaluation of all activities. Siyempre, pag nag-aaral ka, nagiging critical thinker ka na rin. Kasi na-identify mo yung inefficiencies, ano yung kulang, ano yung dapat na i-improve. No? Pag nag-start ka from scratch. No? Pero syempre, pag budgeting kasi ang usapan, para bang lahat ng expense mo dapat i-justify mo, dapat ipaglaban mo na, uy, ganito ha, 100 yung transportation ko, no? Bakit 100? Ganito yung pamasahe sa jeep, ganito na yung pamasahe sa papunta sa amin, no? May resibo, may justification. And not merely dahil kinopya mo lang yan last year. Alright? No? So, other one, no, is yung Kaizen budgeting. Ano bang concept ng Kaizen? Ito po yung Japanese term na meaning continuous improvement. No? Napakagandang salita, Kaizen. Continuous improvement. It emphasizes small incremental changes rather than radical overhauls. Kung baga ba sinasabi nito, success is not overnight. Hindi po agad-agad or bukas CPA ka na. Ano yan? In small incremental changes rather than radical. Ibig sabihin, rather than major or big changes. Hindi ka naman kasi magiging CPA agad-agad eh. Dahan-dahan, incremental, pero tuloy-tuloy na improvement. Kahit maliit, kahit small steps lang, one step at a time, no, magiging CPA. Oh, yun lang naman sinasabi nung Kaizen. Pero syempre, usapang budgeting tayo. It identify areas for improvement. Paano ba yan gagawin? Di ba? For example, waste reduction. For example, ang Jollibee, ayaw na nilang i-plastic yung mga take-out. Gusto na nilang ipapel. Paper bag na lang. O, improvement yon. Gusto nilang maging ma-reduce yung waste production nila. O, i-estimate nila magkano yung masisave nila kung paper bag instead of plastic. No? And ipa-factor nila yung cost ng improvement na yon and yung expected savings nung budget, sa budget na yon. No? Kahit maliit lang, sa simpleng paraan lang, rather than radical overhauls, di ba, nag-i-improve yung Jollibee. Small incremental steps lang. Dahan-dahan, pero tuloy-tuloy. Alright? Anong focus niyan? Long-term efficiency gains rather than short-term financial targets. Siyempre, papalakpakan ng Jollibee kung, siyempre, nababawasan yung waste pollution nila. Long-term effect yun. So, ito na. Problem 1. So, the company has budgeted sales of its product for the next 4 months as follows. Meron silang unit sales for April, May, June, and July. The company is now in the process of preparing a production budget for the second quarter. Past experience has shown that end-of-month inventory levels must equal 10% of the following month's sales. The inventory at the end of March was 5,000 units. Anong required? Prepare a production budget for the first quarter of the year. Show the number of units that should be produced each month as well as for the quarter in total. Production budget daw yung hinihingi sa atin. So, before yun, let's proceed first. Paano ba ang format ng computation dito? Ito lang. Mag-T-account ka lang. Diba? Meron kang expected beginning inventory ng finished goods. Meron kang budgeted production. Meron kang budgeted sales. Para makuha yung desired ending inventory of finished goods. Para lang, inventory lang talaga siya. May beginning, may production, may sales, may ending. So, isa-isahin natin. For the month of April. Diba? Anong beginning inventory natin dyan? Kung ano yung ending inventory ng March, yun yung beginning inventory mo ng April. Tapos, nabanggit, budgeted sales. Ang hinahanap sa atin, production. Saan yung production? Nandito. Yung sales nandito, di ba? Kaya, sales yung binigay, magkano daw for April? 50,000. 50,000 units. Paano yung ending inventory natin dyan? Ang sabi dun sa problem, past experience has shown that end of the month inventory levels must equal 10% nung following month's sales. 10% daw nung kasunod na buwan na sales. E di 10% multiplied by 75K. 75. Yun lang, napaka-simple. Tapos i-work back mo yung production. Hindi binigay. Yun yung missing piece dun sa problem natin. So 50K plus 75 minus 5K, that's 52,500 ang production. Di ba? Ganun ulit sa May. Ano yung beginning inventory mo ng May? Yung ending inventory mo ng April, maki-carry over mo dyan sa May. Ilan yung sales? 75,000. Diba? Yung nabenta nung May. Tapos, ganun ulit. 10% ulit. Bakit? Paano naging 9K? Kasi 10% nung following months na sale. That's 90K multiplied by 10%. Kaya, anong missing piece? Yung production mo na 76,500. 75K plus 9K minus 75, that's 76,500. And lastly, for the month of June, so April, May, and June, that's the second quarter. Ilan yung beginning inventory mo? 9K. Galing yan sa ending inventory ng May. Ilan yung sales mo? 90K yung June. Ilan yung ending inventory mo? 10% nung July. Sales na 80K multiplied by 10%, 8K. Squeeze or work back mo, yun yung production na 89,000. So, ilan yung units that should be produced each month as well as for the quarter in total? So, second quarter is April, May, and June. So, ilan yung production in total for the second quarter? That's 218,000. So, yung mga naka-highlight lang yung inaan mo dyan. So, basically, ganyan lang siya kasimple. Very basic lang. Very basic. Kaya nga, problem 2 kaagad tayo. 3 units of material are required for each unit of the company's product. The cost of material is 2 pesos per unit. Bago to sa inyo, 3 units daw ng material required for each unit of the company's product. Cost of material is 2 pesos per unit. Yung production natin, is given below by quarters for the year end 2 and the first quarter of year 3. No? So, meron tayong first, second, third, and fourth for the year 2 and meron tayong first quarter for year 3. No? So, tuloy natin yung problem. The material has become so popular as a basic ingredient of the company's product that it has become necessary to carry large inventories as a precaution against stockouts. For this reason, the inventory of the material at the end of the quarter must be equal to 20% of the following quarter's production needs. Diba? Ang daming nangyari. Ang daming kailangang busisiin. Diba? Some 36,000 units of the material will be on hand to start the first quarter of year 2. Year 2, rather. Requirement: prepare a direct materials budget by quarter and in total for year 2. At the bottom of your budget, show the amount of purchases in pesos for each quarter and for the year and total. No? So, bago natin i-compute, may format ulit akong ipapakita. Pinakita ko na to kanina, di ba? Yung sa finished goods. But this time, naka-highlight si budgeted production. No? Tignan natin ano yung silbi niyan. Kasi meron tayong materials eh. Di ba? Meron na tayong materials ngayon. Yung sa problem natin kanina, may halo ng materials yun. Meron tayong beginning materials inventory. No? Meron din tayong units to be purchased na materials. Tapos, meron din tayong ending materials inventory at meron din tayong materials to be used or ibang tawag dyan, production needs. Sir, paano ko po makukuha yung materials to be used or yung production needs ko? No? Kaya naka-highlight yung budgeted production kasi i-multiply mo dyan yung quantity of materials required per unit of product para makuha yung production needs or materials to be used or raw materials use. No? Kahit anong tawag mo dyan, isa lang yan. No? So, naka-highlight silang dalawa, yan ang connection nila. So, yung budgeted production, i-multiply mo sa quantity of materials required per unit of product para makuha yung materials to be used. No? So, yun yung format natin sa problem na ito. Very helpful ito. No? Very helpful. Kung mag-gets mo na to, kayang-kaya mo na ang budgeting. No? Sige, solusyonan na natin. Diba? Naka-highlight ulit. 3 units of material are required for each unit of the company's product. No? Yun po yung required 3 units of material. So simulan natin. Diba? Prepare a direct materials budget by quarter and in total for year 2. Show the amount of purchases in pesos for each quarter and for the year and total. No? So may first quarter tayo. Direct materials budget na to So nasa raw materials inventory na tayo. Ilan yung beginning RM mo? Diba? Some 36,000 units of the material will be on hand to start the first quarter of year 2. So yun. 36,000 units. No? Ilan yung production needs mo? Paano na po ulit kunin yung production needs or yung materials to be used? Budgeted production, multiply mo dun sa quantity of materials required per unit of product. Ano to sir yung 60,000? Yan po yung budgeted production natin. Diba dun sa finished goods kanina, meron din tayong journal entry dyan na beginning. Tapos, meron din tayong ending dyan. Tapos, meron din tayong sales. No? So, yung kulang dyan, ito po yung budgeted production. No? Nandyan po yung budgeted production. No? So, yung budgeted production, ito na yon, binigay na yan. Hindi na tayo pinag-compute pa ng T account dito sa finished goods. Wala nang sales dyan, production na kaagad. Binigay na yung missing piece. No? So, budgeted production, i-multiply mo dun sa quantity of materials required per unit of product. Ilan yun? 3. 3 units of material are required for each unit of the company's product. Hence, ang production needs mo dyan, 60,000 times 3. Diba? 60K siya. Times 3. So, 180K. Sir, paano naman po kukunin yung ending RM? No? Nasabi doon, naka-highlight, yung inventory of the material at the end of a quarter must equal 20% of the following quarters production needs. Following quarters production needs. Remember, ang usapan dito production needs, hindi production lang. No? Magkaiba 'yun, 'di ba? Kaya nga nabanggit ko 'yan Na-emphasize ko yung budgeted production, no? Iba 'yan sa production needs. Production needs yung nabanggit diyan. So, dapat, imumultiply mo muna yung 90K sa 3 para makuha mo yung production needs. No? So, 90K times 3 times 20%. Kasi 20% ng production needs. Yun yung ending RM mo, 54K. Kaya, meron ka ng units to be purchased gamit ng workback na 198,000. Alright? So, 180 plus 54 minus 36,198,000. Ganun ulit sa second quarter. No? But this time, alam mo yung beginning RM inventory mo, yun yung ending RM inventory mo ng first quarter. No? Na 54K. Again, meron ka ulit production needs. No? Ang hinahanap natin dito, itong units to be purchased. Yan yung wino-work back natin. Kaya alam na natin to, alam na natin to, alam na natin yan. Makukompute natin yan. No? So yung production needs natin, 90,000 na production times 3 units of material, that's 270,000. Ilan yung ending RM inventory mo? Next quarter's production needs, 150K. Multiply by 3 times 20%, that's 90K. So work back ulit, ang units to be purchased mo sa second quarter, 306,000 units. No? Medyo procedural na, no? Pero kung maalala nyo lang talaga yung journal entry, no? Yung computation format natin, swabe ka na dito. No? So second quarter pa lang to ha. Ang usapan natin for the whole year of year 2. So buong quarter, 4 na quarter dapat. No? So tingnan natin dun sa third quarter, yung beginning RM natin, yan yung ending RM natin ng second quarter na 90K. Ilan yung production needs natin? 150K times 3. No? That's 450K. So ending RM natin, next quarter's production needs, multiply natin sa 20%. No? Kaya ang units to be purchased natin is 420,000. So sa fourth quarter, ganun ulit. Same scenario ulit. Beginning RM mo, 60K. Ilan yung production needs mo? 100K multiply by 3. That's 300K. So ang ending RM mo dyan, 70K times 3 times 20%. Huwag po kayong matakot kung binigyan ka ng year 3 ha. Kasi ang usapan, siguro nalilito ka, sir, year 2 ang usapan, bakit may year 3 dito? Nakakalito. Hindi po. Kasi kailangan mo yan para dun sa ending RM mo ng fourth quarter. Kasi kung walang kasunod to, ano yung ending inventory mo? Kasi ang sabi, following quarters production needs O kaya dapat may kasunod pa yan para makuha mo yung ending RM niya, yung following quarter niya na RM. Kasi pag wala yan, hindi kompleto yung T account natin, hindi ka pwedeng manghula. No? So yan yung purpose niyan. No? Mapapansin mo yan sa mga problems na sinusolve. So ang units to be purchased natin sa fourth quarter is 252,000. Oh, hindi pa tapos. Hindi pa tapos, no? Kasi sinabi din, show the amount of purchases in pesos. In pesos yan. Naka-units to. Iba ang in pesos sa in units. No? Tandaan, units yan. Units yung nasa T account natin. Ang hinahanap, peso amount. No? Buti na lang, sinabi sa problem, the cost of the material is 2 pesos per unit. Alam mo na yung unit mo, alam mo pa yung per unit mo, 2 pesos per unit. Oh. So yun yung kahalagahan. Madidetermine mo na magkano yung purchases in pesos mo diyan. Diba? Doon sa first quarter natin, yung units to be purchased natin 198K. Multiply natin sa purchase cost na 396K. Sa second quarter, ganun ulit. No? third and fourth, ganun ulit. So all in all, ang total purchases mo for each quarter and for the year in total is 2,412,000. No? So doon nagsimula ha, hinanap mo muna yung units to be purchased mo, tas meron kang purchase cost na 2 pesos per unit para makuha mo yung purchases in peso. No? Ganun yung procedure to. Alright? So, tingnan naman natin sa problem 3 natin. No? You have been asked to prepare a December cash budget for a company. The following information is available about the company's operation. Cash balance mo nung December 1, 40K. Tapos may actual sales ka ng October and November. No? And expected sales mo for December. So, mayroong cash sales, mayroong sales on account. Ano ho yung sales on account, sir? Accounts receivable yan. No? Credit sales yan. Yung cash sales, pera yung natanggap mo, yung nagbenta. Okay? Sales on account are collected over a 3-month period. 20% daw in the month of sale, 60% in the month following the sale, 18% collected in the second month following sale. Remaining 2% mo uncollectible daw. Okay? Meron ka rin daw purchases of inventory, 280K for December. No, 30% nun, bayad. 70% inutang. No? Tapos yung accounts payable mo daw ng November, babayaran mo na this December. No? Tapos meron ka ring selling and admin expense, 430K. Kasama dyan, 50K na depreciation. Tapos may new equipment ka daw na bibilhin. Tapos may dividends kang babayaran. The company maintains a minimum cash balance of 20K. An open line of credit is available from the company's bank to bolster the cash position as needed. Anong requirement? Prepare a schedule of expected cash collections for December and expected cash disbursements for December. And prepare a cash budget for December. So, December. Back to December, guys, no? Joke. Grabe namang December yan. No? So, this is me, di ba? Nalito tuloy ako doon. Requirement number 1. Diba? Prepare a schedule of expected cash collections for December. Cash collections, sir. No? Ang usapan lang naman natin dyan, when it comes to cash collections, syempre sales. Saan ka ba makakolekta? Syempre sa benta mo. Ano makokolekta mo? Pera. Or yung accounts receivable mo, baka makolekta mo na. No? Sabi daw 20% collected in the month of sale. No? Ang usapan natin dito, guys, ang tinutukoy nilang percentages is itong sales on account. Kapag cash sales yan, buong 100% nakolekta mo na siya ng October. Buong 100% cash sales. Pero ang ipa-percentage mo lang yung sales on account. Huwag mong i-percentage yung cash sales ha, kolektado na buong buo yan. Ang 20% na tinutukoy dyan, collected in the month of sale is yung sales on account. No? Estudyante kasi ako, medyo nalito ako dyan eh. Pero ER pala yun, yung tinutukoy niya. Oo. Kasi yung cash sales, kolektado na yun. No? So, kung iti-table natin yan, parang ganito. Noong October, ang makukolekta mo daw in the month of sale, 20%. Kailan ka ba nagbenta noong October? 20% yung makukolekta mo nun. 60% following the month of sale. So, ano ba ang following month ng October? November. Kailan nag-occur? October. Ano yung second month nun? November. No? Tapos, ano daw yung 18% daw in the second month following sale. Second month niya, December. No? Kailan nag-occur? October. Anong second month nun? December. No? O ganun ulit, November. Siyempre, walang, hindi nangyari noong October. Wala kang makukolekta dyan. No? Kailan ba yan nangyari? November. Kaya November, magsisimula yung 20%. Tapos, the month following sale, 60%. No? So, ganyan mo siya i-visualize dapat. December, syempre, walang nangyari. Hindi yan nangyari nung October, November. Kaya dapat magsisimula yung countdown mo nung December. Basta, maalala mo, 2060-18. Pag nag-occur ka agad, 2060-18. Pag hindi pa, no, huwag ka muna magsimula sa countdown. No, paano kung silent? 'Di ba? Paano kung hindi sinabi yung 2% uncollectible? No? Kasi kung ipagpa-plus mo kasi yan, 98 kasi to eh. Baka kasi hanapin mo, sir, kulang. Dapat 100% to. No? Pag hindi po sinabi sa problem na yung remaining is uncollectible, i-assume mo na uncollectible yon. Pero dapat maging realistic siya. Dapat talagang ada na yun. Or bad debt expense na yun. Alangan naman ang remaining mo pa 30%. Naku, ang laki naman nun. Hindi na yun realistic. Hanapin mo yun. No? Pero kung 1%, 2%, no? Assumption nun, uncollectible na yun. No? Wag mo nang idagdag. Wag mo nang i-plus to dyan. Wag mo nang i-plus to. No? Wag ka magpa-plus to. Sundan mo yung nasa problem. Okay? So, tingnan naman natin paano ang approach diyan. 'Di ba? Remember, anong gustong ng problem? Cash collections for December. Collections mo ng December. May nakolekta ka ba from your October sales on account? Yes. Magkano? 18% yung nakokolekta mo dyan. 18% ng 400K na sales on account ng October, makokolekta mo na this December. Magkano yon? 400K times 18%, that's 72,000. And wala ka nang makokolektang cash sales. Diba? Ilan yung cash sales mo ng October? 65K. Hindi mo yan makokolekta ng December kasi lahat yan nakolekta mo na ng October. Okay? O ganun ulit. From November, ilan yung makokolekta mong sa December coming from November na sales on account? 525,000 multiplied by 60%, that's 315,000. And again, wala kang cash sales kasi nga yung November na cash sales mo, nakolekta mo lahat yan ng November. Tapos, mayroon ka ring December na collection ng sales on account. Magkano yung makokolekta mo dyan? Coming from December, 20%. So, 600K times 20%, 120K. And remember, meron kang makokolektang sales or cash sales mo ng December. Kasi December nangyari yun eh. So, 83,000 full amount yan. So, all in all, ilan ang total cash collection mo during the month of December? Ipag-plus mo lang lahat yan, 590,000. Alright? Alright talaga. So, ganun lang ho ganun lang yung approach nito. Kayang-kaya mo yan. Kayang-kaya mo. So, requirement number 2. Prepare a schedule of expected cash disbursement for December. Ito, December naman. No? Tignan natin. Di ba? Kasi disbursement kasi yung usapan eh. Purchase of inventory will total 280K for December. 30% nung month's inventory purchases daw, bayad during the month of purchase. Tapos yung accounts payable mo daw nung November, babayaran mo na this December. So, paano ang magiging disbursement niyan? Ilan ba yung babayaran mo dun sa December na purchase mo ng inventory? Di ba 30% lang? Diba? 280K na purchases mo nung December, 30% lang dyan yung babayaran mo sa month of purchase. So, that's 84K. Tapos, yung November na purchases mo, diba? Or yung remaining balance mo nung November, babayaran mo na lahat this December. Ilan yun? 161,000. Okay, tapos sabi din dun sa problem, meron kang selling and admin expense na 430K. Pero, yung 50K daw, depreciation. Hindi po cash expense ang depreciation. Non-cash po yan. Again, cash disbursement ang usapan dito. Huwag mong isasama yung non-cash. Alright? So, hindi po cash disbursement ang depreciation. Kaya excluded siya. Tapos, nabanggit din, may acquisition daw ng bagong equipment for cash. Kaya, bayad yun, disbursement yun. And yung dividends na 9,000 will be paid during the month. Dividends paid, 9,000. Paano kung sinabi, nag-declare lang? Kung yung dividend, dineclare lang, hindi po isasama ulit yun. Non-cash expense ulit yun. No? Iba ang dividends declaration sa dividend payment, ha? No? So, cash flow pa rin yun. No? Mahahagip pa rin yun sa cash flow. So, all in all, ilan ang total cash disbursement mo? That's 710,000. No? Alright, so tingnan naman natin sa requirement number 3. Prepare a cash budget for December. Indicate in the financing section any borrowing that will be needed during the month. Assume that any interest will not be paid until the following month. No? So, cash budget daw for December. Simulan natin sa beginning cash. No? Alam natin na mayroon tayong cash balance noong December 1 na 40K. Yun po yung beginning cash natin. Tapos, meron din tayong cash collections na magkano kanina? 590K dun sa requirement 1 natin. Yun po yung total cash collections for the month of December. Tapos, meron din tayong cash disbursement kanina na 710,000. Ibawas natin yun. Yun yung nasa requirement 2. Kaya, ilan yung excess dyan? Or ilan yung deficiency? 40K plus 590, bawas mo yung 710, 80K na deficient ka. Ang sabi, the company maintains a minimum cash balance of 20K. An open line of credit is available from the company's bank to bolster the cash position as needed. Pwede naman pala silang umutang. No? Pero may minimum cash balance kasi sila eh. Ang kaso, deficient sila eh. Pero may dapat silang i-maintain. Kaya kailangan nilang umutang. Kailangan nilang mag-borrow sa bank. Na magkano? Paano maging 20K yung negative 80? Magdagdag ka ng additional na 100K. No? Kasi negative 80 yan. Idagdagan mo ng additional 100 para ma-maintain mo yung minimum cash balance mo na 20K. No? Okay? So, yang sa borrowings na yan, syempre, pag humiram ka, may interest yan. Pero kasi yung ini-interest daw, hindi pa daw yan babayaran until the following month. So, babayaran pa yan ng January next year. So, wala pang interest na babayaran. Okay? No, so, paano ang sabi sa problem? Walang sinabi na minimum cash balance. O, wag mong pansinin. Paano pag hindi binanggit yung minimum cash balance? Mag-stick ka dun sa deficiency. No? Assume mo na wala namang maintaining or minimum cash balance kapag silent yung problem. Pero kung may binanggit, syempre susundin mo yun ha. Sundin mo yung problem. And remember, yung minimum cash balance mo na 20K, yan naman po ulit yung magiging beginning cash mo for the next period. For the month of January na next year. Okay. Sir, paano naman po kung hindi ako deficiency? Paano kung may excess ako, let's say, 60K? Kailangan ko pa bang humiram? Hindi na. Hindi mo na kailangan ng borrowings dyan. Kasi, ang maintaining balance mo, 20K, ikaw na 60K mo pa. No? Baka ang mangyari dyan, baka bayaran mo yung utang mo. No? Baka sabihin din ng problem yun na magbabayad ka kapag nakaluwag-luwag ka na. Sundan mo yung problem. Huwag kang matakot kapag gano'n. Okay? Kayang-kaya mo yan. Alright? No? So, tignan natin sa theory question na to. For better management acceptance, the flow of data to be used for budgeting should begin with, syempre, sa lower levels of management. Or yan yung tinatawag nating bottom-up approach. Bakit po kailangan magsimula sa lower levels of management? No? Kasi po, 'di ba? It motivates managers by giving them ownership, accountability, and a sense of participation in decision making, which increases engagement and accuracy. Syempre, ang mas nakakaalam kasi is yung mga nasa lower level. sila yung nasa battleground. Sila yung nasa operation. Kaya dapat alam nila kung magkano yung gagastusin, magkano yung i-produce, kasi alam nila yung nangyayari sa operation. So, dapat bottom, papunta ka sa up approach. Or bottom-up budgeting. So, number 2 ng ating theory question. Which of the following statements is false? Letter A. Under zero-based budgeting, a manager is required to start at zero budget levels each period, as if the programs involved were being initiated for the first time. This is true. Remember yung ZBB natin, yung zero-based budgeting? Every expense must be justified from scratch. You are required to start at zero budget, as if yung programs talaga were being initiated for the first time. Letter B, a continuous or rolling budget drops the current month or quarter and adds a future month, quarter, or month as the current month or quarter is completed. Kahit nalito ka man doon sa pagbasa ko, totoo po yan. Kapag po continuous yan, ina-update kasi, drina-drop niya yung last month. Yun lang yung sinasabi niya, drina-drop niya yung last month or last quarter, tapos mag-a-add ka ng current month para maging updated. Para updated na yung budget mo, continuous ka or rolling budget. So yung letter C, a budget that presents the plan for a range of activity so that the plan can be adjusted for changes in activity levels is referred to as static budget. This is false. Hindi po yan static budget. Diba? Yung budget po na nag-a-adjust sa changes ng activity levels, hindi po ba flexible budget yun? Ang static budget, yun yung fix. Yun yung hindi nag-a-adjust sa changes ng activity levels. While yung flexible budget, nag-a-adapt sa different levels of activity. Siyempre, yung letter dog, yung budget that describes the long-term position, goals, and objectives of an entity within its environment is called yung strategic budget. Tama nga naman. Long-term kasi ang strategic budget. And for our last theory question, budget slack is a condition in which letter C. Meron po tayong intentional overstatement of expenses or underestimate ng revenues. So, budgetary slack or yung padding na budget. Okay, so alam natin yan, kayang-kaya natin. So dito nagtatapos po yung operating and financial budgeting natin. I hope marami kayong natutunan. Kayang-kaya niyo ito. Kayang-kaya niyo tong topic na to. Kumbaga ba, ito yung matapos yung halos lahat na variance analysis, standard costing, cost concept, CVP, makakahinga ka na rin. Diba? Kumbaga, ito yung pinnacle na lahat nung napag-aralan mo sa part ng management accounting. Dun sa mga first chapters. So, I hope marami kang natutunan and thank you sa support. And kung hindi ka pa nakapag-subscribe, please mag-subscribe na ho. Para maging updated kayo and sipagin kang mag-aral. So, thank you ulit and see you. Bye-bye.